How can couples stop fighting about money? Advisor Jeff Motzke is here to explain. Welcome, Jeff.
Hey, welcome. Thank you.
So, Jeff, what are some of the key reasons couples fight about money?
Well, lack of communication. They're just not on the same page at all. They don't talk about it. That's one. Another one for a lot of couples is they're already in trouble because they've got some debt or they've got credit card bills they can't pay. Those are the types of things that come up and they cause huge arguments.
So things like overspending. What about the kids?
Overspending, kids, sometimes they can't agree on. One says, hey, we're going to pay for college. The other one says, we're not going to pay for college. They can get loans on their own. Those are the types of things that come up. And if you don't discuss them ahead of time, they're going to cause arguments and they're going to cause problems.
Good point. So you said there's a few tips in getting couples to communicate better and stop the fight. So one of them, first of all, is to communicate to begin with.
Yes, communicate. I talk about doing a financial date night. We do a financial date night. It'll be a way for you to be in an atmosphere that you're relaxed and you can talk about some of these issues and they're not emotional things at that point. So communicating, having a date night, getting a plan together, having time to sit down and build a plan that is going to have part of your financial future together.
And you said that plan could be a one-pager that has what budget in there?
Yeah, it starts with a one-pager, I think, because most people don't keep a budget, and if you do, you're already ahead of the game. But having a budget it's like the blueprint to figure out really how you can get started as far as figuring out where you're spending your money. Obviously, people know where their money's coming in using income, but they don't know where they're spending it. And then you can find out, hey, what do we got left over to start building something together?
Now you said transparency is important. I'm sure it is. So tell us more about that.
Yeah, financial transparency, there's lots of studies out there that show that couples hide purchases and they hide accounts and so forth. And I don't know how you can be on the same page as a team if you're hiding costs and expenses. You should be able to be forthright with all of your spending habits and your saving habits and so forth.
Now, if someone's not forthright, how do you motivate that person to be forthright?
Well, I think you get together and you talk about, usually something happens, an event happens that causes people to start to get together on these areas. And those events trigger something. And you could take a quiz or read a book that I wrote about it and find out ways to help in that area as far as getting people to start thinking about what we can do to get together. Also, you can find a good advisor.
Right. So you said playing to your strengths is important. What do you mean by that?
I mean that if you are sitting down and let's say that one of you is really good with the details and budgeting, then you should be working in that area. And the other one is more involved in maybe the longer term planning as far as investments and portfolios and so forth. You should each play to your strengths. I think that's an important element that a lot of people don't overlook. And sometimes they don't even talk about what the other person's doing, which is a recipe for disaster.
Dreams and goals, how do they fit into all of this?
Well, that's really, I think, what starts to motivate people, is if you really have dreams and goals of retiring someday or putting your kids through college or buying a home, if you have those things that are there, you're going to now be motivated to sit down and say, how are we going to get there? What are we going to do to change our spending habits if those are problems? What are we going to do to make sure that we can get to those dreams and goals?
Hopefully some of these tips will stop some fights out there.
Yeah, I don't want to see people fighting. I want to see people happy and enjoying life and building a future together.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks.